Dig it!
Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation.
It's time to join the conversation. Welcome to another episode of Hardheaded, episode 160. I'm your host, Matt Amos. Along with me, as always, Chet Sears and Troy. 3 shot? 4 shot?
Yeah, 3.
6?
However many it takes, baby.
However many it takes. As with today, today we're going to hear what's on Chet's mind. Our top 3 is our personal highlights of 2023. And then Troy is going to close us out for the end of the year with a good word.
Are y'all excited about the personal highlights, top 3?
Sure.
Did you enjoy thinking about those?
Yeah.
And like, oh, yeah, that was a good year.
Sure.
No, you're lying to me.
I am.
Yeah. You hadn't even thought about it yet. You're going to come up with them on the fly.
I have it filled out, sir.
I got mine filled out right here, too.
Okay. Whoa.
All right. Well, let's kick it off. Chet, what do you got?
I'm shocked. I don't know. I don't even know what to do. Typically, one of us is not prepared every time, so I need to act like I'm unprepared so we can balance it out.
I guess so.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've been prepared like the last 100 episodes.
I don't know. 100.
I feel like I have.
100. It's like maybe the last 2 sessions.
Oh, we're only at 160, so maybe the last 50.
So, man, what's been on my mind? Good. We talked about deer season before deer season, and this is post most of deer season. There's the antler list coming up.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get one on the antler list.
And smoked them.
You did not lay down 3 in one day like you said in a previous podcast.
And then all manner of excuses on why he didn't.
I said I could lay down.
No, everybody heard what you said. And I'm gonna. And then by lunch, I'm going to lay down a doe because I already shot my 10-point deer.
I had that opportunity.
Yeah.
But you didn't take it.
I didn't because
You let all of our listeners down.
I didn't let anybody down because I still got all the deer I needed to get. But, dude, I was solo. I was not supposed to be solo up there. And so 2-day delay in my hunting partner. And I was like, I'm not stacking them up. I'm not dealing with all this on my own. So opening morning, the first deer I saw, which was 45 minutes into the season, shooter, buck. And I'm like, okay, here we go. This is it. Shoot him. Pour myself a cup of coffee. I'm going to give it a little time. Doe walks out. Like, I could shoot her, but I'm not going to. A little bit, she's moving on. A little bit later, another buck walks out. A younger one with some scraggly little antlers. And then a little bit later, another doe walks out. So I could have killed 3 deer.
Lies.
On opening morning.
I could have done this.
I chose not to. Was what I did.
I mean, I could have still had legs if I'd have gone right instead of left. We all have choices, and you just didn't come through.
Well, and then, so that was day 1. Day 2, I went out and sat, and I saw another little buck, and I saw a doe on the neighbor's property that I would have shot if she would have come over, but she didn't. And then day 3.
So you hunt property lines.
We're in Kansas. You can see other people's property if you are off of the ground like I am. I don't care where you're just going to see other people's property.
If you're off of the ground, are you Troy off of the ground, or are you?
I'm off of the ground.
Are you actually off the ground?
So my feet are at 8 feet.
So what we need to do
ground.
is you need to take a picture of your hunting mansion there, and then
Have I not shown you pictures?
You've shown me, but I'm saying our listeners need to see it.
Yeah.
So maybe Troy at some point would follow through on when he says he's going to put something on the video and put some pictures of the blind.
Sorry.
People don't need to see this. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You mean embarrassing?
No. But we'll get into it. I've dispelled a lot of rumors. This year, did I send you guys this picture?
Oh, that is way too luxurious.
Huh? Did I send you guys this kind of stuff? I just sent you outside pictures.
What is that, a lazy boy?
Huh? No, it's an office chair.
I can't say anything. I've got the office chair.
It's height adjustable. It's cushioned. It swivels quietly.
Oh my gosh.
And then, what else? So here's the other thing you guys need to know.
All you need is a chair 10
Vibrates,
feet, 10 feet up in a tree.
Is here's us on the
10
morning.
feet would actually be nice, Troy. Not 2.
That's the Coleman stove with
nice.
a percolator on it. Right after we got done cooking grits.
Yeah.
So that's morning number 3. Okay, so if I hunt the first 2 days by myself, pass on on 2 shooters on day 1. On day 2, I didn't have a shooter on my property, but I saw deer and bucks. You can only kill 1 buck in Kansas, listeners. So I'd already killed my buck. And then, so my son Stone comes down from college, Manhattan, which is not too far from where we are, on day 2 at night. And then Tim, one of the guys that's on the lease with me, he comes in. So we have, cook some steaks, eat some jambalaya as a side dish, wake up, and we all 3 go to the blind. Yes, there's room for 3.
There's room for 6 in that thing.
There's a lot of room. So we all 3 go to the blind, and I'm like, Tim, you got dibs, right? Tim and I both have our guns. There's plenty of windows and space. I was like, you got dibs, and Stone's just hanging out. He's not planning to hunt, and so we're sitting there, and I look up, and on a different neighbor's property, I see a doe like feeding in this old bean field that they had already harvested. I'm like, okay, here we go. This is pretty awesome. Hopefully she'll move in and come on our property, probably hit, the food plot and the feeder that I planted the food plots per Matt's specifications. And very little growth in there because of the drought that we have going on.
Next year.
But then I'm watching her, and then I look and I'm like, oh no, there's another one with her. And then a little bit later, there's another one. So there's 3 doe in the bean field over there. And we're like, okay, they're going to take their time. They're, just kind of, grazing as they're walking through. And we see them for about 10 minutes. And they're moving where you behind some trees, you can't see them, then you can see them. We're like, oh, they're not going anywhere. And then our feeder goes off on time. And you hear all the racket. I'm glassing at that moment at one of the doe. And she looks up, not startled, but, oh, I hear that. And then they just slowly start moving. Like, oh, the dinner bell just rang. So then they go down into the woods and they end up you can't see any of this happening, but this is what they did. They crossed over into our property, and then they came out of the woods right at the feeder. And so it's on. And while all this is going on, if you 2 guys are sitting in a blind and you see 3 deer that are coming into your property and you're both hunting together, you're going to have this conversation that Tim and I had. You want to try to get them both at the same time?
Yes.
And we were like, if they present, and I'm like, well, here's the deal. If we get that chance, you do the countdown and you pick the deer. So you get the best shot, best angle, best deer, because it's dibs on you. And then I will take a shot if it's a good shot, if it's clean. You count down and then we'll go. And he's like, okay. So we're there. They're under the feeder, 10 minutes. And not giving us a good shot. And so finally one of them splits off and turns broadside. And he's like, that's my deer on the right. I'm going to shoot it. I said, you count down? He's like, yeah. You want to go 3, 2, 1. I said, well, you shooting on 1 or you shooting on 3, 2, 1, bang?
It's like lethal weapon.
He's like, okay, let's do 3, 2, 1, bang. I'm like, okay, that's what we're going to do. Well, the other 2 deer are feeding head down in the grass. I could barely see the base of their neck where it goes into their head because of the grass. I'm like, well, I'll just take a neck shot and we'll go from there. So you count down, I'll make it work. You get the shot. So he's like, okay, 3, 2, 1, and bang! Stone filmed this, by the way. And the way he went frame by frame, and he said we were 1/16 of a second difference in the bangs. And so Tim drops his deer. And then the 2 other deer get up and run off, go back to the east. And I was like, well, I missed. I clearly missed. Didn't hit it. I was aiming for the neck. If I would hit it would have gone down. So we just sit there. We kind of laugh a little bit. I break out the wild boar sausage that I brought. We start cooking that, brew some coffee, having a good time. We got 2 deer down already, and really excited to eat. Stone has to go back to go to class, so Stone goes back and gets settled back in to hunt more throughout the day. And probably about 10 minutes after I get back from Stone leaving, look down there, 2 doe walking back from the east. The 2 that ran off come back. And I'm like, all right, Tim, it's my turn now. And he's like, okay, I'll just hold my gun up here just in case another shot presents, but we're not going to do the 3, 2, 1. That doesn't work. So I have to wait for it to clear my game camera. It stopped right there in front of it to take pictures. And it moved on out. I shoot the 3rd doe, wheels around to sprint back where it came from again, and it goes like 20 feet and stops broadside. And Tim puts a smack down on that dude. So we've had one morning in the blind together and killed 3 deer. It was fantastic. So then we're like, well, we're done. We got a lot of work to do now, so we go do this. Get them all gutted, hung. The temperature's right, so we can hang them up overnight.
It was a good week for that.
And then next morning, fog, freezing fog. It was a beautiful morning. It got so thick you couldn't see. It froze to everything, so everything's just white, like more white than what snow, because the freezing fog gets on the bottom and everything, so everything's just coated white. Really pretty, but it felt real deery, just. And so talking to Tim, he's like, man, it's been the whole time he's been up there, he's never killed a buck. He's only killed does. And we're like, okay, this is your morning, Tim. I just feel it. Oh yeah, we'll see. I hope we're all kind of excited. And sure enough, look up. I'm like, dude, that's a buck. Oh, he's a shooter. Oh, okay. And he just turned broadside. Tim gets him, shoots him, drops him. And so then he's excited about that. Biggest buck he's ever shot. Big first buck out in Kansas. And so we go down and mess with that. And while all this is going on, I'll tell you, I'll go back. I complained about this. The KDEWP, so the Kansas Wildlife and Parks, went away from paper tags to electronic tags, or you could print from your own printer a paper tag and put it in some kind of a Ziploc bag to keep it, from getting wet to tag your deer. I went full electronic this year. I complained about it. I said it was stupid. I liked it. I was wrong. It was pretty simple. Now they get to track everything and I'm doing, which I don't like. But it was pretty simple. It was pretty easy.
It's so much easier. Take a picture of it. Even if you don't have signal, it records that timestamp and then sends when you get back to serve.
And if you're out there and you're like, oh, I only bought 2 tags, and you shoot 2 deer, and you don't want to go into town to buy another license, you just buy one through the app. Like, buy another tag. I mean, like, that was very convenient. Loved it. So anyway, 5 deer. 5 deer in
3 days.
Basically 3 hunts.
Yeah,
which is pretty awesome.
It's still
not what you said, but
no, that's right.
3 deer on opening day.
I'm gonna go back. I had the opportunity for 3 deer on opening day.
No,
I've got to go back and I'm gonna go get at least 1 more doe. I think maybe 2.
Nice.
So I'll figure that out. But yeah, a lot of work. Processed them ourselves. Got that grinder working. It's one of those made by meat grinders. Meet Your Maker. Yeah, those guys. Horse and a half, dude. It chews through
anything. It doesn't slow down.
No, it doesn't at all. But yeah, that was good. It was a lot of fun. So that's the deer season. Better than, and I'll talk about this in our top 3. But a great deer season. Hadn't had one like that in a long time. And then ducks, different story. It's been a really tough duck season. It's not cold up north. There's still water everywhere, and not pushing them down yet. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'm glad you had a good season. Mine was not.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I went out.
You didn't even sit in the stand, did you?
Nope. Went out there and got to the camp, and it's the first time I've been out there since at least.
It's been a year.
Yeah, a year. And pack rat had chewed the thermostat wire, so I couldn't turn the heat on. And then the ceiling in the kitchen and my bedroom had a lot of water damage from a leaky roof, and the kitchen ceiling had actually fallen in. So got the word from insurance. They're not covering anything, so I'm going to just pay for all of this out of pocket, which is awesome. So if you own
they're not going to cover it? Why not?
If you own a mobile home and you're going through American Modern, don't even bother. They won't pay for anything. So
why are they saying no?
They said it wasn't due to like a storm or whatever.
How do they know?
Because the guy came out and took pictures and it's like, oh, well, this and that, and just where, and I'm like,
yeah, on
a normal house, it's time for a new roof. It's time for a new roof.
Yeah.
But whatever.
No, none of the damage because of the water getting in. Yeah, I may have to pay for my roof, but the whole house is damaged.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
Nope. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Wow. So, yeah. So that's going to be my project over the next, we'll see. I got somebody coming out.
Well, you got to get that heater fixed first.
No, I don't want to fix the heat. I want to fix the roof and then fix the heat.
Yeah, okay. Because you going to make all your workers work in the cold? I see how it is.
Hey. Yeah. I've got
it's actually not that cold.
Well, and I've got those little
space heaters.
It'd be perfect.
So, target for the rest of the year is to get on some ducks.
Well, good luck. My buddies came down and slayed them.
Where? In town?
No, Emporia.
Really?
They came up from Florida. They brought...
it was a guided deal?
No, it was just they had some access to some property. I don't know if they go to school with somebody that's from up here because they go to Auburn. And, they called and said, hey, what do you know about Emporia?
Yeah.
It's like, why? Well, we're up here just kind of tooling around, just kind of touring northeast Kansas, just hunting ducks. We got some access to some private land, and
good for them.
We're going to go smoke some ducks. We got 2 boats and like 8 guys.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Go for it. It sounds like they had a pretty good time.
Yeah. That boat gets some access to a lot of places there's people like me can't get to. Boatless.
You got to get yourself a boat there.
I don't need a boat.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Troy and I say you definitely need a boat.
Yeah, you need a boat.
The conversation I had with my wife about the boat was absolutely you get a boat, but we've got to, it's like going to be a ski boat. So I'm not, if I get a duck boat, I would have to buy a ski boat first.
No, you can get a duck boat and ski off of it.
It's not the duck boat I'm looking for.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Those little flat bottom lows, you can pull somebody behind.
So comfortably. Yeah. Let's go hang out on this metal boat in the sun in the summertime with no cushions. Yeah, not what we're looking for.
The new ones have cushions. They're pretty darn nice.
Not the duck boat that I want. Like you don't.
Why would you get a duck boat that doesn't have comfortable seats? You're gonna be sitting there.
It's not the same. You don't know what I'm talking. I want one of those gator tracks, the gator hides. Like you don't even know.
I do know.
Okay.
You've shown it to me.
Well, there you go.
Well, let's just put a bigger motor on it.
You're not sitting in sideways when you're skiing. This doesn't work. Doesn't work that way. It's just a metal deck on top.
Well, lose that part. It's fine. All right, moving on.
I would push you to buy a boat, but you've got housework to do, house repairs.
Yes.
Deer camp repairs.
Deer camp repairs. All right. Well, thank you, Chet. We're going to take a break. When we come back, top 3 personal highlights of 2023. At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back.
Top 3 personal highlights of 2023. Troy, lead us off with your personal highlights.
All right. So number 3, I took a while to reflect over the past year.
I enjoyed this.
Yeah, this was good. Number 3, though, I have a food blog that most people have heard about, probably don't know much about, but it's called Live Local. We've been doing it for 4 years. This year it actually made money.
All right.
It made $27.
Profit's profit.
That's right. So it's on the uptick
Oh,
Yeah.
man. You live.
That's right.
Well, you got that cooler.
So I got that refrigerator.
Hey, we're going to
over
look
here.
back on this and be like, I remember when Troy just got this thing off the ground.
Made it
Look
big.
how big it is now.
That's right.
You can
right.
double. You can double next year.
Definitely.
Yeah, get close to $60.
I will say,
right.
So we
speaking
had a
of,
100% increase in our profitability over the last year.
I mean, the P&L sheet's pretty off because my expenses have probably been over $1,000 everywhere we go eat, but
yeah.
that's okay. We're
Yeah.
made money.
All right. All right.
I mean, I know you because you posted about your little fridge that you got there, and I didn't see that, and I offended the room when I arrived and commented.
You're
on
like,
it.
ooh. In the podcast studio, we have a drink
Yeah,
fridge
we got,
now.
we got a little drink fridge.
Commented on that and was lambasted for apparently not following, but I did follow the advice for Lena's. I've never been there for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
I got that breakfast burrito. Holy cow, that
Is
thing
it
is
better-
a freaking brick.
What about the burrito
It's good, isn't
on in the other direction?
El Primo.
El Primo burrito.
So El Primo, I believe, has a better flavor.
I would agree with that. It's
However,
it's smaller.
It is smaller.
Same price?
No,
El Primo's probably cheaper. I think
But
the
it's
leanest
smaller.
one's like $5.99.
no, it's like it was $9 total or something.
Oh,
like
was
that.
it?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
but I mean that sucker is like this big,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
It's brunch, babe.
it is super good, and that's that hot sauce. That
Did you
they
just
have.
say it's brunch, babe?
Yeah.
Are you calling him babe now?
I meant to say it's brunch, baby, but I got cut off.
Hey, babe.
That's my name.
It's brunch, baby.
Hey, let's do brunch, babe.
I'm gonna pass.
Only call my wife that. I don't know where that came from.
Well, maybe we need to talk to somebody, a professional, about all this. What's going on around here?
It's kind of
All
weird.
right.
I don't know if I want to finish this podcast.
Yeah, it's like I gotta go, guys.
I'm a little uncomfortable.
My tummy hurts.
But no, I followed the advice. It was good. Go ahead, continue.
Good. Number 2, I lost 25 pounds this year.
All right.
I've kept 20 of it off.
So you've lost
20 pounds.
20. But at one point, I lost 25. So that was a good highlight. And then number 1 is the past 2 months. So October, November have been the best month financially for my Trussell Media business.
nice.
So, yeah, it's been a good year. Definitely ending on a good note.
Yeah, and since you were late getting here to record, he was able to take another call and make more money. Boom!
You're
Just like
welcome.
that.
That's true.
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Yeah,
I'm just
Thanks for being late.
yeah. You know, it's God's provision.
it is.
Yeah.
It's a divine providence.
That's
Yep.
right. Like it. So that's me.
Chet,
Okay, number 3, deer season. Highlight. And let me tell you why. What?
you know what that is?
The-
Beating a dead horse.
No, I'm about to go in a different direction. This is going to hurt your
Oh,
feelings.
okay.
Hopefully your feelings, hopefully you're like, I shouldn't have done that. So the original lease that we're on up there, my dad, me, and Tim, my buddy Tim, who's still on it up there. So my dad died in 2019, and we just haven't put anything in to the lease up there. We've gone up there and hunted, and we've killed a couple deer, but it just hadn't been there. So this year, actually at the end of last deer season, Tim and I said, we're going to bring this back to what it was. Because my dad was kind of the driving force. Like, hey, when are we going to get up there? When are we going to do this? We got to get some corn. And since he's been gone, we've just, I don't know. It just hadn't been the thing.
Right.
So we, at the end of deer season last year, we were like, man, we're going all in. Like my dad would be pushing us. We're going to get food plots. We're going to finish this stand because the stand wasn't finished. We had the platform built last year. We're going to put some time up there. We're going to go, and I appreciate you letting me use your barrels, by the way. We're going to go and go all out on the corn regimen with the food plots and minerals, and we did it. And it paid off. And we just had the best time. We're up there hunting together. Like before, you wouldn't hunt together because you got to maximize every opportunity you get. There's a whole, we got a lot of opportunity to hunt different parts of our land, and so we're going to spread out and maximize that. But there's deer everywhere. So we're just going to hang out and chill, cooking breakfast in the blinds and shooting deer afterwards.
That's
like
a luxury.
It's almost like duck hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're up in there having conversations and chatting, and heck, the buck I shot, I saw a deer moving, and it was out there and it's behind some brush and trees. I start filming it. I'm like, oh, a deer. Hey, and it walks out and then like it hits the sunlight and then the beaming horns. And I was like, I'm shooting this. And
Antlers.
Yeah. So
He definitely takes pictures
but
with
I mean,
his
we're
hand
just-
on it. Thank you, Lord, for this harvest and the soul of this animal.
I'll tell you what I took pictures
Hang
of.
these horns in
was
my
that
garage.
The snow I love hunting in snow, and there was snow all over the ground, and that blood.
Makes it easy to track.
Dude.
Yeah.
That sucker was, I took half of his heart out with the shot, and it was like the pump where it would go through that was just, there was just spraying blood like it was crazy. And every time that heart would beat, the snow was just like this spattered.
It's like a John Wick movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's my number 3.
So before you move on, when did you put the cabin? When did you build the cabin? Because your dad was still around. When
Oh
you did
yeah.
that.
We've had that up
Okay.
there for a while. Yeah, he was the financier for all of that.
Oh.
Yeah. And we that's where he broke his hip. I mean, we were there. He killed a deer that morning, I think, or the morning before that. Anyway, no, it was the same day. Anyway, so that was a highlight. And it goes into, there's connections with my dad, but also putting in work all year for a payoff. Like Troy did, put in work all year for 20 pounds, right? The payoff.
Right.
It's not a one day you do it and it's over. It's like you got to put it in all year and then you get the payoff. So number 2, travel. This year was actually the last 2 years, but this year was a really good travel year. Got to go to Saudi Arabia, Dubai, China, Italy, Singapore, Germany, all overseas, and then even here domestically, got to go to North Carolina and see my sister and her family. Got a Lake Fork trip in there and a trip to the Grand Canyon and Vegas as well. So it was a really good travel year. I like to travel and got to see a lot of cool places this year.
More power to you, sir.
And then number 1, recognizing and accepting a new phase of life. So this is the second year of my son being away at school. My middle child is a senior in high school, and just realizing, yeah, it's different now. Like it was like, it's all new, like Stone being away to college last year. But this year it's like, oh, this is it. Like it hit the cycle of when he's going to come back for the holidays, and that's it. That's when we get him, and at some point that's going to be less than that. And my daughter's about to go into that. My youngest is in high school. It's just like, completely new phase of life now, and just recognizing it, and then seeing that for what it is while it's going on, which is really cool. So it's not like I'm not realizing it or look back on it. It's like, oh, I missed all that. But seeing relationships mature is really good. And then being in a position with my job, where I was having a conversation with somebody at work about this. It's like, you know what happens. It's not like I'm trying to get to some executive level and have this big, it's like, man, I have work in front of me to do. I'm making an impact. It feels good to do that. And I'm building good relationships with the people I work around. And that feels really good. So just kind of having this phase of life and saying, man, this is a really good spot. I see it. I'm accepting it and enjoying it. Highlight of 2023.
Boom.
How about you, man?
I really wasn't prepared. So
You have chicken scratch written on your paper.
I do, actually. But it was hard to narrow down. So I would say personal highlights of 2023. I finally, after 10 years in my house and saving, got my shop built.
Yeah.
It's been a long time
Been wanting
coming.
to do that forever.
I've been wanting to do that for a long, long time, and finally got it done this year.
By the way, when can I bring a load over? Is it everything? Like, you ready?
A load.
Stuff I need to store.
Oh, no, that's not happening.
You sure?
Yeah, positive.
Okay, because after duck season, I'd really like a place to put my decoys.
No.
I've got a canoe.
We could do like
Got a rack I could put a canoe on out there.
we could do like Duck Commander. You could throw them on the roof, and then we could just see how often they update the satellite. So that's kind of tied for number 3 with taking over. This is my first full year. So it's like I've got so many highlights of 2023. It's kind of hard to narrow any of them down. But this year was my first year as executive director of WWO. It's been rewarding, but it's also been extremely frustrating. An incredible learning experience. I've learned a ton on just management alone, and then how to work people, because it's not the military where you can just tell somebody to do something. You're working with a group of volunteers, and you can't just it's not like you can be a dictator and like my way or the highway. You got to try to work things out and try to figure things out, and which has been hard for me, but it's been an incredible learning experience. So that's
what. So I know it's been hard, and I think I already know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it for the benefit of our audience. Like what's the payoff there? Like, it's been hard, but you've grown, and through your growing of helping manage people and motivate people, WWO's getting better.
I would say that it's definitely getting better, and I would say on the Warrior side, I would say the one thing that really I think that we pulled off was there wasn't a change. I don't think anybody noticed a change in leadership. It's just like everything went just like it was supposed to go, and so they didn't see the behind the scenes of trying to figure whose role is what and who needs to do what and how do we need to go about this. And so I think that's a credit to everybody coming together to make it happen.
Going through a big change, right?
A huge change, yeah. So that's number 3. Number 2, I've got 2 number 2s. I've saw my oldest daughter sing a solo, and she's never, to my knowledge, done that before. At a concert, and so that was extremely special for me to see. As well as her qualifying for nationals in figure skating.
Awesome.
Number 2 is watching my youngest daughter in a play just recently, put on by the drama class that she's in, and watching her remember all of her lines while some of the other members struggled over some of theirs. And she was one of the ones that I could actually hear, because they didn't mic these kids up. And then number 2 was watching her soccer team come in first at the tournament up in Kansas City. And with her being a defender and our team scoring 9 goals while only allowing 1 during the whole tournament. That's a credit to their defense, which was pretty, again, special for me to watch, being a soccer guy myself. And then number 1.
So you only have 1 number 1? Because you've had 2 number 3s and 2 number 2s.
Yeah, I've only got 1 number 1.
All right.
Celebrated 19 years married this year, which, with everything looking back that we've been through, that she's been through with me, it's a miracle that we're still together. So celebrating 19 is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Coming up on 20 here in about 4,
What are you doing?
just a little over 4 months.
What are you doing? You got to do something special.
Nothing.
You got to travel.
What is the 20-year gift?
I don't know. Look it up.
Huh?
Jamie or
The
whatever.
20-year gift. There's like gifts every 5, 10, 20 years, all that.
Like the diamond anniversary or whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody does that anymore. Just do whatever your wife wants to do. And mine likes to travel. So that's what
I'm
you
sure
do.
mine would like to travel. I think I've been down to,
You did not tell us about the boots.
I didn't talk about Luke Casey.
No.
Yeah. So that was pretty special. That might've been a anniversary trip. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Platinum.
Well, you can't go back. You can't go back and say something we did last year counts for the 20-year anniversary.
Sure.
No, it doesn't work that way, man. It will work that way for your birthday,
Oh,
but not for her in the anniversary.
Traditional 20-year anniversary gift is China. The modern take on it is platinum for what it's worth.
Get a bar of platinum.
There you go.
China has platinum rims.
Ooh.
That boom got both
Double.
covered.
Double.
Well, we registered for those, and they were wedding gifts, so we got them.
You got them the day you got married.
That's right.
Bam, because you knew you were going
Planning
20
ahead.
years.
Planning
That's
ahead.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't have had to take her anywhere when we had 20 years.
That's right.
You just pull out those glasses. You just pull out those glasses, get a little sparkling grape juice. And
Yeah, we're gonna
Could have served her up some
gonna
backstrap.
put you some hamburger steak on these fancy China dishes.
Yeah, there you go.
Corn dogs.
corn dogs. All right. Troy, good word. What do you got?
Good word is reflect. Since
Okay.
the new year is in a few days, I figured we would use the word reflect. We all just reflected about the past year and our top 3 takeaways from it. But the older I get, the more I reflect on my life and what I've done, and the more I see God's hand at work, which is really cool to see. If you're paying attention in the good times and the bad times, you can always see, once you reflect and look back, you can always see where he has been. And he's always right there with you.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's hard to see in the moment.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And so taking an opportunity to look back, and you see that the hand of God was there the whole time, so that the next time you're in the moment, you could have faith that God's working through that as well, even if you don't see it at the time.
Right.
So builds on itself.
Yep. And that's a lot of people at the end of the year, they plan for the future, right? They make New Year's resolutions and that kind of thing. But I just want to challenge everybody to reflect and look back, and like we just did, and see where God has been. Because he's with you. He knows what's going to happen. And I have Jeremiah 29:11-13. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare, not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Yeah, reflect.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week.
Happy New Year. Stay safe.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.